Alright, welcome back to the vlog. Today we only have two things planned today. We are at the Forest Hill Cemetery, and then later tonight we have the ETA final round. Right now we, like I said, are in the Forest Hill Cemetery, and this is where Elvis used to be placed and his mother used to be placed.
Well, she was actually buried.
Right. And they're having, what is this right now?
Someone's having a presentation. Like I said, the big mausoleum has been closed for many years. It was in really bad shape. They've been restoring it, redoing it. Every time we've come, it's been closed, locked up. It's finally opened, and someone is doing a tour of the mausoleum and has artifacts and things from his service, funeral, and then I guess they're going to tell us, I'm assuming someone owns that, I don't know what they're called, crypt, the place where he was in the wall. So they're going to give us some history and all that. So it should be interesting. And then, like I said, from what I'm understanding, after this, it's going to be locked back up because there's other people that are in this mausoleum. So that way, I'm assuming only people that have family there has keys to it, because otherwise people would come in and destroy it. But we're in the graveyard now, and I was just imagining what this was like the day of Elvis's funeral. I mean, I've seen footage and videos and things, and it was just unbelievable. Apparently, I've always heard that was, sorry, I gotta close the door, car's coming, that was the most flowers ever ordered in history, is when his funeral was. I'm sure she'll post up photos of during his funeral of all the flowers and everything. It was unbelievable. Apparently all the flower shops everywhere ran out of flowers, but this was probably some crazy day that all went on. So
yeah, so we're gonna head up there now and see what this is. People are starting to roll in, so we're gonna go ahead and go up to the mausoleum.
Yeah, remember last time one of the times we were here, it was all chained up. I was peeking in the window, and
yeah, she thought she heard somebody.
I thought somebody was coming after us. We were scared to death. I thought, oh my God, I ran back and jumped in the car, and we hurried up to the dog. It was like a ghost or something. I don't know. It was weird. We are in Forest Hill Cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee. This is the original resting place of his mother, Gladys. She was put here. And the original of Elvis's resting place is obviously where we're going to be going in a minute. His dad, though, had him moved after he was there. I don't think it was a very long time, because someone tried to steal his body, so they had him moved to Graceland. And then his mother obviously was also moved to Graceland. There was a big headstone, I guess I would call it. It was a big angel that Elvis had put here, but that is obviously at Graceland. He sent flowers every single week to his mother, obviously up till he passed. But this is where she was buried. Oh, you can see it in the photos. They've obviously redone this very nice. I don't know if we have any old photos from when we were here, but it was a disastrous mess. And if you go online and look up photos from his funeral, I mean, the flowers were covered here. They were all out here. I mean, they were everywhere. It's unbelievable. How soon did she, so after he died, did they move the mom here right away?
No, they were having to wait until they got their permit.
Permit.
To move
So
up.
she was here for a
So,
short while. And how long was he here for? A couple months, I think, at the most. Okay.
At least that.
Yeah. So she was in here for a short
See, I
time.
brought that and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the one. Obviously, it's the second one on the right. You said. Okay, that was the mom was below. Okay. Thank you.
Your
Yeah.
back is in the back here. The gesture is just before you go out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they.
Oh, we
this is-
did see. We saw that.
Yeah, with the tour there. What an amazing job they did there.
Honor for me as well, and to help restore and bring it back to life. More importantly for y'all as fans, forever fans, to be able to come out and enjoy the Mausoleum. It's a part of history for y'all. I mean, y'all, a lot of y'all from close by, and a lot of y'all are far away. And I can only imagine coming year after year for 7 years, and it's lost. We spent about $2 million getting it restored. It's well worth it.
Thank you.
Well worth it. Not only just for Elvis, but for all the families that's here too. We have like 105 families tuned here, and we took pride in making sure that families are able to come back and see their families as well. But it's Elvis week, so we're actually celebrating that. We really pushed very hard to get it back open, just in time for Elvis week. We actually did our ribbon cutting last Friday. We didn't have this size of a crowd. It was a nice crowd, but it wasn't this size. Thanks to this young man here. But we're more than happy to get it back open for everyone. Now, the benches that you are currently sitting on, for those who sitting, those are the original benches. We kept those and stored because we want to keep everything as original as possible. And even out to the plants, some of us want to get rid of them, and I said no, we want to keep them because that's just part of the history. Even to the tomb, most of y'all have seen, we want to keep it original. Yes, we haven't offered a lot of money to sell them, and we won't. We feel that would take away the history that took place of Elvis. So we decided not to do that. Man, it's just a happy moment for us, a really happy moment. To be honest, the work we done, we probably could have been still working way to the end of the year to get this back open. But we had a lot of good help. And what really boosted us was seeing all the fans that was continuing to keep coming, doing the restoration of that. And to us, that let us know how important it was to put a rush to get this back open. I think someone asked me earlier, did y'all have investments? No, we didn't have an investment. We did we at a lot of companies have an investment company who come out and do that. We didn't. The company itself paid to have this done, so the fans could be able to get back to see us for the rest of us. So for that, we're very grateful. As y'all can see, that we also added some glass niches. Those are cremation niches. Miss Roswell is somewhere in the back. But she has some of the information. This is Miss Jatomi Fayetteville. She's one of our counselors. And this is our sales manager for the area, Ms. Vera Johnson, who can help facilitate any information across the glass niches. We had a lot of inquiries about it, so if y'all need information on it, we can definitely get you the information across the glass niches. That's not original, that's one of the newbies. And just for the record, we only have 6 crypts remaining, and it's completely full capacity in this attic. So there's only 6 remaining, and once that's done, there will be no one else tuned in the attic. So that's the bad part about it. There's only 6 remaining. those who don't know, the cemetery was actually established back in the 1800s, and the abbey was built in 1915. So it is a very unique part of history, a huge legacy. We have a lot of famous people that's here in the cemetery, and we're just really grateful that we're a part of it. Even at a later date, we're just happy we're a part of it. And we just, again, more than happy and just grateful that y'all are able to make it out near and far. And right at the moment, we have the abbey open from 10 to 2, Monday through Fridays, until we progress on. We know this week is going to be the biggest week. But as we progress on, we are working on extending the hours as much as we can. So when we travel, you'll be able to come out and see that. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my buddy here, who partnered with us, Mr. John, and he can do what he has to do. Send a meeting on you guys.
Well, we got that page of notes taken care of. That's officially done. Yeah, so I was here for the ribbon cutting, and I said, "You had anything going on for Elvis this week?" They said, "No." I said, "That might be fun." So thanks for coming out. How many people is this first time here? Wow.
I guess that's the other part of the original, right?
So, this is some little, I pulled out some stuff from my collection. Some of the stuff that I have, but thanks to Dick Rowe, I actually learned quite a bit of stuff as I was doing this. So, the question that I have, I thought was pretty interesting. How many people, okay, so we know Elvis was here. Was Gladys ever here?
Yes.
When? Does anybody know when?
Wasn't it like a couple weeks after?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, some of the stuff that actually is not needed. But yeah, so here was like a news article that I had found, and it was the guy that basically was running the cemetery, Mr. Murray. Did you know him back in 1977?
I don't think
You weren't here then?
I was still watching Top Show.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a cool picture, like a press release of the photo of the guy in the cemetery. And he's basically, and it says in here that she was moved here August 25th, 1977. So she was exhumed from over there and was brought in, and then so she was on the bottom of the crypt over there. He was in the center, and then she was on the bottom. And so after they moved them to Graceland, October 2nd, 1977, then at some point, and I haven't really found any paperwork, and I don't think you guys have anything either, but the crypt was actually turned back to the cemetery. So Vernon Presley no longer saw a need for it, and so it's been turned back to you guys. So all the people that say he's still here, he is not here. I tapped on the stone over there. He is not here, I promise you. Yeah, so this place was built in 1915. So the interesting thing here that Dick Rowe had, I'll just give the press release that. I'll read the original press release. I thought this was pretty cool. Gladys Presley is now at rest with her son. Forest Hill President M. Murray announced this morning that Gladys Love Presley, deceased mother of late Elvis Presley, has been moved to the Mausoleum in their Midtown location. Her crypt, located directly beneath the crypt of Elvis. Vernon Presley, the famed entertainer's father, made the decision to move the late Mrs. Presley to Forest Hill Midtown Mausoleum Thursday. That was August 25th. The transfer was made after hours Friday to ensure privacy. And then the other thing, and I think this actually might be floating around that was for the Crypt C. So I have the interment order, and that was for Crypt C to move him from there to the Graceland mansion. Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff's not dated, so I'm not really for sure, like, the ins and outs of when they were trying to get him and Gladys from here to Graceland. At some point, they did some paperwork, but it's not, like, it says it's like his death date and everything. And then this was, remarks was to remove to the Mausoleum, Tomb A, Crypt B, Corridor Z. And if you go over there, there's actually a Z over there. And anyone know what the cost was for the removal from out there to here? Any guess? $752. Y'all were cheap back then. So this is the disentombment. So it says, you are hereby authorized and instructed, subject to your rules and regulations, to disentomb the remains of Elvis Presley from the family mausoleum, Tomb A, Crypt C, Corridor Z, for the purpose of reinterment at the Graceland Mansion, 3764, Graceland Mansion, 3764 Elvis Presley Boulevard. I hereby certify that I am the father and the above named deceased, and this is your authority to make disposition of the remains of the said descendant as indicated. I hereby certify and represent that I have the right to make this authorization, and I agree to hold Forest Hill Cemetery grounds from any liabilities on account of the said authorization determined. Brian Presley. The witness. Anybody? Any guess who was the witness? Patsy Gamble. Patsy Gamble. So that is Jimmy Gamble's mother. She's still living. Patsy Gamble. She was in the office at that point. 29th, 1977. Due to may concern, it is my desire that the remains of my wife, Mrs. Gladys Presley, who died August 14, 1958, be removed from the mausoleum at Forest Hill Cemetery, located at 1661 Elvis Presley Boulevard, and it's my desire to be interred into a private cemetery located at 3764 Elvis Presley Boulevard. I request that the above execution by the Memphis Funeral Home, 1177 Union Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, as soon as possible, and that was signed by Brian Presley as well. And it's basically, so this is the document that they had for Gladys and them to be moved October 77. So the top one is for Gladys, and then the bottom one is for Elvis. It pretty much just does the same except for the names that's on there. So this is the paperwork, copies of the paperwork that I have. And then I wanted to show you a couple of artifacts that I thought was pretty interesting. So, so this is a funeral button.
Oh, wow.
And I confirmed with the Memphis Mafia people that are still living, and some of them that have passed. It was nothing to do with anything but the Presley estate. This was something for the cemetery. Unfortunately, you don't have anybody from that. Yeah, so it's kind of some of the collectors believe that it probably had something to do with getting back here. It was a logistical thing of getting back here. So nobody really knows what they were used for, other than the fact that they were probably used to have gain access here at some point. But these are funeral buttons, and in my opinion, if you collect Elvis buttons, these are probably the rarest ones that are out there.
What does it say on
It says Forest Hill Cemetery, Memphis, Tennessee, August 1977, Elvis official visitor. Thanks to Sharon Parker, because I couldn't find mine. It's somewhere.
Thank you. I didn't see mine either.
She literally like, hey, can you use this? I was like, actually, I can't find mine, so this is great. So probably one of the most unusual things that has been authorized through the Presley estate was marble taken from the crypt. And they put them on this plaque. I'll show it to you in a minute. They put them on this plaque, and they were sold. There was, I've got the paperwork for it. There was, I think, 473 of these made. It says Elvis Aaron Presley, January 1935, August 16th. Original marble from the family room at Forest Hill Cemetery, Midtown Mausoleum, Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis and his mother were entombed. Then it gives the date, entombed August 18th to October 2nd for him, and then Gladys, August 26th to October 2nd. And then each piece is actually numbered. And this is what they look like. So these were run through boxcar, and I don't want to hear any groans, but boxcar was Colonel, but let me explain. It was Vernon Presley who would have been the okay to do this. I just recently had a conversation with someone who was kind of in the circle of payment and everything like that. So what's interesting about this piece is that this would have come out in 77. Now Elvis was going to go on tour, right? He was headed to Portland August the 17th, and there was a numerous amount of shows that were sold out when he died, right? Everybody knows this, right? Okay. So Elvis was paid at the end of the tours. So he was paid at the end of the tours. So he would go on tour. They would tally up what all the ticket sales were, all of the merchandise, everything that was sold, and then expenses would come out. And then at the very end, Elvis would be cut a check for the entire tour. Okay, sounds easy enough. Well, when he died on August 16th, all of those shows, guess what? Refund. Millions of dollars refunded. Now, okay, so refund of the shows. Was there any merchandise? No shows, no merchandise. Now, what was Elvis doing in the summer of 77? Nothing. July, he didn't work. June, he had 10 shows. He did some makeup shows at the beginning of June. So basically, from June of 77 to August, when he died, he took 2 months off. Sure, there was probably, Moody Blue was doing well and everything, but the money for the tours wasn't happening. So then he dies in August, and all of the shows coming up are all refunded. Bills are still coming in. So what do? You have to do stuff like this. So basically, that someone had thought, like, well, let's do a plaque, we'll put up the marble. These were $50 in 1977. The cost to see Elvis was $15. So you could have seen the front row earlier that year for $15. These were $50. These are very rare. I've only ever had a couple of these. So you can kind of see how desperate the estate got, because Elvis takes time off, the shows are, no more. So I think that combination is what made this. So it's kind of interesting that this is actually was signed off on as okay from Vernon Presley. Because I'm sure he probably still had bills for Lisa Marie, he still had the property taxes coming in, and he probably just said, well, whatever you can sell, let's do it, because I just got a notification that we just had to turn back, $15, $20, $30 million in ticket sales. So that is why I think this piece exists. Is it morbid? Yeah, it's probably not the coolest thing ever, but it kind of shows where the mind of the estate was with making sure that there was still revenue coming in. And this is for sale. Sharon has decided to sell this.
What does it say on it? What does it say on it?
It says Elvis Aaron Presley, January 8, 1935, August 16, 1977. Original marble from the family room at Forest Hill Cemetery, Midtown Mausoleum, Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis and his mother were entombed, and then it gives the dates. So this would have been late. This would have been late 77. insider information that I was told was that there was kind of a rookie guy on the MPD at this police department. And so there was a tip that Elvis's body was going to be stolen. So the Memphis police were aware of it, and they had a stakeout. And so when the guys showed up with their pickaxes and sledgehammers and everything, they kind of jumped the gun, and so they got them outside of the building. So they never touched the mausoleum. And therefore, it was trespassing. Nothing more than that. They showed up with their equipment, but because they were just passing through the cemetery, so it was kind of, from my understanding, it was kind of a big blunder from the police department, and that's why it was pretty much kept hush. I had asked Dick, I said, was it like, people say it was like speculation to get Elvis moved? He's like, no, that was easy. Like, we just basically said, we want to move him, and the cemetery wants him out of there. And they're like, done. But there really was a plot to steal his body, and that's why it was just, it happened, but it was just kind of like, it happened, and then just kind of went away, and nobody really much happened with it. Was because of, they never really got here. They never got far enough to actually commit to it.
So it was the cemetery's decision to not ban? Is that what you
No, it was
said?
Vernon Presley's
Okay.
decision, but some of the stories that I heard from the inside people was that, it was problematic having him here. It was just droves of fans that were coming, and things were, the grass was getting torn up, and, there was like all these cars, I can't imagine like a mausoleum, all those cars parked out front like today. So it was just kind of a zoo. And so, and then after the plot was pretty much decided, like, it's just best if we have him at Graceland. So they moved him and Gladys October 2nd, 1977 in the evening time. So I know that Dick worked with that. Tommy Henley was involved with that. Or Pritchard was involved with that. Sam Thompson was involved with that. So those were kind of the guys that kind of spearheaded getting the bodies from here back up to Graceland. It was done quickly, no fanfare. Sam told me they basically just went with the police escort, and nobody knew what was going on. They literally went from here to there, so the graves were dug, and everything by nightfall it was done. It was wrapped. So, any questions? And then I have a special guest. I will tell you about these real quickly, and then I will get to our guest. These were here today at the funeral. This lady right here, Miss Henley, who I just love, is Elvis's nurse. She lived in Graceland, and I think she's the only one that could raise her hand that was here that day. So I'm going to, Tish is just going to stay down here, but she's got some notes, and she's going to kind of tell you her thoughts on August 18th. Huh? You want to come up here? Step up.
Well, I was Elvis's nurse from 68 to the end. We lived at Graceland from 72 to 83. And I know you've seen all the pictures of all the flowers that was around here, all the people that was around, but it was, as everybody knows, a very, very sad day. But God takes care of us in really sweet ways. Because here we come in, have the first of the year, we're trying to get everything out. But when we got out of the car, the aroma from the flowers here was something like I've never had before in my life. It was just a sweet, sweet spirit. So I think that says a lot for what the fans have done, have present here for him. It was kind of scary because the guys, Elvis weighed a few pounds, casket was huge, had it on the rail thing to put it in. These pallbearers with their suits trying to get him up these steps was unbelievable. I thought they was all going to break down and fall. But the place was packed. They can move some of the benches out of here. first spoke, and did a sweet fact prayer. And then that part of it, you know, it was over. But, Elvis and I were watching television one night, and this is for the benefit of you guys. Watching TV one night, and somebody died. And there weren't somebody that was really famous or that you really personally knew. And Elvis got really, really quiet. And I said, Elvis, why is that bothering you so? My name is Trish, and he said, you know, Trish, when I've been dead for y'all 5 or 10 years, they'll say Elvis over. 47 years later, Elvis over. I was very, very blessed. I traveled with him, and I'm telling you. So I used to tell Elvis the more you cry, the less you beat him. But he loved his family. I said the 4 F's: his family, his friends, his faith, and his family. That was the 4 F's I gave him. You did not say anything bad about his family unless you wanted the temper side of Elvis, which he did have, come out, because he would put you in his place. If you worked for him or if you were standing by, you did not say anything bad about his family. There was not a bad thing in Elvis's eyes, ever. I took a lot of my vacation and traveled with him. I had a full-time job. He was my full-time, part-time job. And when I went on the road with him, I didn't get to meet the fans. I stayed in Elvis' closet for years because ABC was just really behind me. They'd come to my place with Bob and do all this kind of stuff. But he was my friend, he was my patient. It was mine, I was going to talk about it. But in 14, I went to an event. I was asked to get big too for about 5 years. And that's when I found out the hunger the fans want to know about Elvis the person. So that has been my goal for the last several years, is to let people know about Elvis the person. Any questions that I said? But he loves you guys more than you will ever know.
I had a question, but it's not related to anything you said, just here about that.
Okay, so Elvis's bedroom was cold as a freezer, dark as a dark night. So we read a lot. So I decided, my children had gone to my parents for the summer. So I decided at night, instead of just sitting up there reading what was back then, we had 2 movies, Mighty Python and Panther. So once you've seen them 40 times, you know, read the books over and over. So I would come up with the idea that we're just going to go out. We're going to read, we're going to do something. So we took out one night, so we went down to the Elephant Park. Back then, there were very few lights there, but they had concrete bleachers set around in the park. So we pulled this one place and we were sitting there. And what were you talking? We were sitting there, and all of a sudden, and the Memphis Zoo runs parallel to the park. So there was this roar. And so I jumped up and run in the car. And he was like, here comes Elvis. Moby Joe along to get the car, and he says, you know, he didn't do some real nasty words. Well, Tisha, were you just going to let my ass get ate up? If you didn't have sense enough to get your ass up and get in the car, I guess I was. So some weeks after that, we were back at the park and sitting there, and he said, aren't we really close to the shell? And I said, yeah, it's just around the corner. So we go around the shell, and he looked around and climbs up on the stage. Now, I cannot sing. He lay down up there like this, and he says, swing low, sweet cherry, I'm going to take my ass home. He was so brilliant. It was amazing. If I could just have an iPhone back then.
Right.
His personality. And you know, we all know about his movies, and we all know about his singing and his all that. And I was so blessed to be such a part of his personal life. And they had a good dose of hairspray every now and then, and that's all they did. Nobody knew. I might act like Elvis, I might give you out a gun.